2008 Audi R8. Hit by a fire truck right here. But you knew that. You subscribed to Ed Gasket. You've liked the videos all along, and you've joined us over at Ed Gasket Garage for updates between videos. At this point, we're pretty good friends. We're really good friends. So good of friends, in fact, that you can say things to me like, Ed, listen, I'm sick of looking at this car like this. You're not supposed to see this piece of plastic. There should be metal here. It should be painted white, and this should be a car that's back on the road. You idiot. Finish it. It's a really sweet car, and it deserves more than you're giving it. Inside of these boxes are all the parts we need to put this car back together. So without doing anything else, let's take these things out of the boxes, make sure they fit our car so that we can move forward with painting and clear coating. Guys, this is a quarter panel. It's brand new, and unfortunately, we're sort of 0 for 1 on success in obtaining parts that we can use. Well, we can use this, but kind of hard to see. There's damage on this corner. It must have hit the ground real hard in the box and it wasn't padded, so I'm gonna have to bend this back out. We'll probably have to use a little bit of body filler just to make it look OEM, but for the most part, the rest of this part, yep, looks perfect. Now this box, this is a box that's been in the garage for, I don't know, maybe since a week after we bought the car. Let's get this thing open and see what's inside. I didn't really pay attention to where I bought a lot of this stuff from, but it seems like it all came from the same place. Same packaging materials, same bubble wrap and brown tape. This is from a different package, same bubble wrap and brown tape. I'm pretty sure it's AZ Auto Parts. Actually, if you're interested in automotive rebuilds, Goon Squad is also rebuilding an Audi R8, and you'll notice in their videos they're opening the parts from the same person. So whoever has been shipping this stuff to both the Goon Squad garage and the Ed Gasket garage, I speak on both of our behalves in saying thank you. Razor blade, good spot for it. Oh, I think I know what this is. It's wrapped. Pretty cool wrap, actually. It's like a mirror finish. This Audi R8 before it was smashed was probably a cool looking car. So this is the piece I just unwrapped. It looks like it came off of a silver R8 and then they wrapped it in some sort of mirror finish, which is kind of cool, not as cool as white. This is the one that I took off of my car. You can see the red from the fire truck. And this is all plastic and it's broken and deformed and will never work. So we had to buy a new one. I don't even remember what I paid for these things at this point. I will make a video at the end reviewing everything that I paid for everything. Let's figure out if these parts fit. So a bit of a confession for you, when I'm putting this type of project back together, I usually like to know how it goes back before I hit the record button so that I don't record 20 minutes of me trying to figure out how this panel goes back together. But I can tell you right now, I cannot remember how this panel goes back together. When I take something apart, I like to have it back together within 5 to 10 days usually, if I'm relying on my memory to get it back together. This car has been apart for over a month and it's starting to show. It's one of the great things about having a YouTube channel is you can go back, watch an old video and see exactly how you took something apart. Now it's obvious I need to put the quarter panel back on first, then put this piece on, and I think I need to take this intake apart just a little bit to fit this on, followed lastly by the rocker cover, and then we'll have everything mocked up. It's important to have it mocked up before we paint because we don't want to have to do any body work or put any significant force on any panels after we've painted and clear coated. Well, I'll be damned if this doesn't look really good. Actually turned out a lot better than I thought, considering the fact that this was pushed in about 4 inches just a couple of days ago. A couple of months ago, I guess. Kind of sad how long it's taken me to finish this, but hey, this is a step in the right direction. The body lines up top are a little tighter than down along the side, but this is actually all within spec. If you look inside the manual, it says something about being less than 4 millimeters with a 2mm buffer in each direction. So this will totally do. It's probably not exactly matching the opposite side, but you'll never see both sides at the same time. So the only people that really know about this mismatch is me and you. Now if you look really close through this carbon wrap, yes, it's a wrap, it's not real carbon. It's actually silver underneath, and during the accident, part of the wrap was shredded off. So I'm gonna reach out to the previous owner, see if I can figure out who wrapped this so I can get an exact copy of this wrap so I can rewrap it. If you head over to VinWiki and look up this exact car, you'll see that there's actually a comment about who wrapped this side blade. So I'll reach out to that person and hopefully find a replacement, because I'd rather just fix one side blade than have to take both sides apart and unwrap them and rewrap them. An alternative would be just to take off the wrap so that the side blades could be their silver factory color, or I could paint them black, or I could rewrap them any other color. Forged carbon is a little tacky in terms of wrap. It could be a really cool upgrade to have forged carbon side blades, but that's about $3 grand, and right now I just want to make sure that I don't go upside down in this project, because we are certainly getting close to what the market value is in terms of what I have invested. Again, that will be something that I talk about in the next video when we break down the cost, the entire cost, to buy, build, fix, paint, and get this Audi R8 back on the road. The next move would be to take this all back apart now that we know that it lines up damn near perfectly, and get everything sanded and painted. Actually, this piece right here, we would have to remove that shiny wrap and then sand and paint. I kind of forgot about the rear bumper. The rear bumper's sitting over there across the garage, and we need to open that up and figure out what color it is and if it fits this car. When I made the purchase on eBay, it looked like it was gray, and then the seller messaged me and told me it was black. Regardless, it's not white, and the rest of this car is. So we're gonna have to sand that bumper down no matter what color it is, along with every other panel here that's mismatched, and start painting. Now, painting this car is gonna be an interesting task. I haven't done a whole lot of automotive painting. If you've been watching the channel, you know I've painted a motorcycle, part of the Porsche 911, part of the Jeep project, which was a few months ago. So it's time to tackle a big one, which is gonna be this Audi R8. White will be interesting because I don't know if white is hard to match in terms of color. I was thinking worst case scenario, if the whites don't match perfectly, we can always wrap the car in clear bra. That might help. If it doesn't help, we could wrap it in a matte clear bra so that the whole car has that white matte finish, which is pretty sharp. Either way, standing here talking about it isn't gonna get it done. So let's get this bumper mocked up to make sure it's the right bumper, and then we will start sanding and painting everything. So when I bought this car, I knew right away it needed a rear bumper. You could see that from the images on the auction site. So first thing I did was I went on eBay and bought a new bumper. On November 29th, I purchased this bumper, and it showed up to my house about 2 months later. Now that's not a shot to the person on eBay who I bought it from. It is a shot against the shipping company who didn't ship it for like a month, and then when they told me I needed to pick a date to have it delivered, the soonest date I could pick was almost another month from that point forward. So this has been a bit of a challenge with this rear bumper, and unfortunately I just unwrapped it. And take a closer look. If you look at the very edge of the bumper there, it's missing a good chunk. Ooh, about 4 good chunks. So when I unpackaged it, which of course I left it packaged because I wanted it protected in my garage before I needed it, and now it's time that I need it. And I found these 4 pieces of rear bumper loose in the packaging. So that's a real bummer, because the next step is to sand all these parts that I've been talking about, including the rear bumper. And the last thing I want to do is paint everything and then have to paint in a different batch the rear bumper when I get a new one. You want to paint everything at once so that it all matches. So I'm a little bummed out. It's not a big deal, right? Nothing's a big deal. Everything can be fixed. The issue is time. I'd love to have this car finished. And I mean, I could stay up all night tonight and paint this darn thing, but unfortunately that's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna have to get on the internet, number one, see if I can get any money back for this bumper. This bumper was, I think, $1,100 used. I think it's close to $2,000 new. So I'm gonna go find a new one. In the meantime, well, not a lot can happen in the meantime. Still recording? Just had a thought. You ever see those cars that don't have rear bumpers? There's like a bumper delete thing going on. I'm pretty sure that was more like 2019, but we might be forced to do a bumper delete. That'd be cool. We could actually expose the titanium Valvetronic exhaust, polish it all up, make it look really neat in the back. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have a bumper. I might just try and find a brand new one. The problem with buying new ones, not only are they $1,900, which is at this point drop in the bucket, but they take time to get. So I'm trying to do everything as soon as possible because the weather's getting nice. I'd like to drive this car and of course finish it just because it's a project and projects are meant to be finished. So one avenue we haven't really explored much is the repair option, but this is an automotive repair YouTube channel. So why wouldn't we even give it a chance? Well, if we're gonna wait 2 months for a $2,000 bumper to get shipped from Germany, we might as well give it our best shot in fixing this thing. I have 3 options here, one of them being a fiberglass repair kit, the second being just good old-fashioned 2-part epoxy, and the final being what Permatex is claiming to be a plastic welder, which I think is just a glorified 2-part epoxy. So while we wait around for 2 months, why don't I give this repair a chance? Let's get some sandpaper out, clean this product up all the way down to bare materials, and see if we can fix it. Now I want to make it very clear, this is a beautiful car, a car that deserves to be 100% without any flaws. So if I cannot achieve a 100% perfect repair on this bumper, then I'll probably just install it anyway and make it look like it was 100% to the viewers. So this bumper looks a little funny right now, but it's perfectly smooth and it is ready for paint. Now many of you, and I consider this option, would have sent this thing back as soon as it shows up to your door completely broken and unusable after spending $1,000, over $1,000 on this, plus shipping to get here. And guess what? It took 2 months, 2 months to get to my door. So if I send this thing back, I get my money back, and then I have to find another acceptable condition bumper on the internet, pay for it, probably be another $1,000. And what if that takes 2 months to get to my house? Whether or not it shows up broken or in perfect condition, we don't have 2 months. So it's quicker to spend, I don't know, 4 or 6 hours fixing this thing, and now we can just move on. So I don't have to worry about talking to the person who sold me this, dealing with the shipping company.
It's my money and I need it now!
Nothing lies between me and driving this car other than painting. Ooh, my knee hurts. Ugh!
There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my goes aside from my soul. There goes aside, there goes aside. There goes aside from my soul. I think it's all angels just walk by. 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 There goes a sight from my soul. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my there goes a sight. There goes a sight, there goes a sight. Now there goes a sight from my soul.
Well, let's get one thing straight. This brand new Ibis White paint looks nothing like the 14-year-old Ibis White yellowing that we see on our R8. But let's get a second thing straight. If I had to pick between one of these colors, I'm sticking with the brand new paint, and I'll do anything to make the rest of this car look more like this bumper. But let's get a third thing straight. And finally, let's get a fourth thing straight. That brick wall behind me, it's not a brick wall, it's a garage door. And if I fooled the whole world into thinking that that wall is made out of brick for the last 2 years, then I can convince the rest of the world that this R8 wasn't repaired, painted, and reassembled by a moron. 2008 Super Bowl. Remember that? This car had its first commercial. I think its first commercial. The Audi R8 was introduced. There was a Godfather commercial, I believe. And I remember thinking, cool car, not knowing that 14 years later, I'd be standing next to my very own that, of course, we purchased through the back door. What I mean by that is if you wanted to buy one of these cars today at the dealer, probably be about $200,000. I don't know, we're gonna have to look that up to make sure that's accurate. And we were able to do it for far less. On November 17th, found this car and bid on it and actually won the car without knowing anything about the damage. Of course, when we got it home, I took everything apart and found, unfortunately, some significant problems underneath where my hand is right now. But look at it now, back to normal. Quite a bit of money spent getting it there, but still way cheaper than what it would take to buy one of these cars at either a dealership or, God forbid, buy a brand new one. And I'm not a rich man, right? This is the way to do it through the back door. This is the way I like to share with you guys so that you too can, if you want, own an exotic car. It's still kind of expensive, but a cheaper way to own an exotic car. Although this is not the end of the video, I do like to make you aware that in my next video, I'll reveal exactly what this costs, not just the repair, but what the car costs, what it takes to get it to the driveway, into the garage, plus all of the parts we had to buy, the paint, and Everything that you've seen leading up to this very moment right here. Now this car's about 85% complete. I do have a bunch of things I need to do. Small things like buff this clear coat because there's a lot of orange peel and defects. I want to buff the rest of the car because it kind of looks a little yellow. And I have to put logos on the back, the Audi logo, the R8 logo. So quite a few things to do here, but here we are. This car is ready to drive. So one of the issues with today, squeaky door, but that's not the issue I'm gonna make you aware of. It's raining. And most of the time we don't like to drive really nice cars in the rain, but one of my goals with this car is to just do everything that we want to do with it. I'll drive it in the rain, I'll daily drive it. I want as many people to drive this car as possible, friends and family, anybody who wants to get behind the wheel of an exotic car with a manual transmission, with an engine in the back, four-wheel drive. This is an opportunity to do it, and that's what I want to make really important with this entire build. This is going to be different than the typical privileged person who's not interested in sharing their toys. So let's open the garage door, get this thing out in the street, and take our Audi R8 for its official first test drive. Crazy to say it. We did it. We did it. Everyone always counts down from 3. I'm not sure why that is. So let's be a little different, all right? 42, 41, 40, 37, 36. Just kidding. 35. No, I'm not. 31, 100, 321. All right, I know you've already seen everything I'm about to do, right? I've just made it from first through third. The car drives straight, runs, stops. All is good. So, although it's really slippery out, not a safe day to drive recklessly on the road, I'm gonna take this to a private setting, like a big lot, big abandoned car lot or something, and I'm gonna hammer it.